Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time with them to go off an eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing her tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
Body me LP,
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tuck's Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tuck's. It's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful
beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and picture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Still no sound. How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear the sound now? Not yet. Okay, hold on 1 second. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. You heard the applause. You heard all my shout outs, but you didn't hear my voice. You should be able to hear me now. Yes, yes. Loud and clear now. Ha! Oh my shield. Oh my shield. Anyway. Now that's for somebody who spent 5 years going to school for engineering, but you know the rest of the story. But I'm here. I guess it's one of those days, but I'm here. All right. Again, I was doing shout outs to Angela, right? I was doing shout out to Angela. I was doing shout out to D-Love. Welcome. As you're coming in, on your way in, please hit the like button. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. Wow. How's everyone doing? Good. Lady Navoa, shout out to you. I was doing a round of applause for everybody that's brand new here for the first time. I'm seeing this name Key Pearls for the first time. So I'm not sure if she's been here or not, but a round of applause for everyone that's brand new here today. Welcome to the family, to the Prestige. All right, good. So we're loud and clear now. That's awesome. Thank you. You forgive me. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. So hit that like button on your way in. Shout out to Brother Patrick. Good to see you, Brother Patrick. Wow. So we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about, from the Obodo Onyibo family. I bet. Yeah. Shout out to Auntie B. Yeah, welcome. So today, over here at Men of Prestige, welcome to the first ever Serene Sundays. Now our live sessions, okay. First of all, it's for me, okay, so I can leave some room for quality conversations to prepare properly, and also, to just have a breathing space. Also for you, so you can have enough time to, we're pumping out a lot of content. I got a notification that we released over 600 videos on this channel. Okay, excuse me. And I was like, you know what? Let's slow it down a little bit, right? Just to make sure that what we're talking about is hitting the right spots and we're taking our time to do the right thing. Also, is productive, right? So I said slow it down, but then we came up with 2 new shows, okay? Today, Serene Sundays. On Sundays, 5 p.m. this time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Wednesdays, 9 p.m., we will do the Winning Wednesdays, okay? Similar content over here in Men of Prestige. We talk about relationships. We talk about power. We talk about seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence, patience, and love. And if you have time, we'll talk about marriage. We always talk about marriage. Let's stop the cap, right? So that's what we come here to talk about. So now we have 2 live shows. One on 5 p.m. on Sundays, Serene Sundays, and then Winning Sundays at 9 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays as a midweek. Then we can also cover some of the trendy stuff that we need to extract lessons from at least twice a week. And also, if a trending news is big enough and we have some room, we will still come live. But this is just our set program on this platform. In addition to that, we still release videos at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. So make sure you're engaging those videos. Yes, my numbers, I think I heard Auntie B was saying that on our platform as well. My numbers are showing that people are not engaging the videos just as much. But, just so you know, we do release videos 1 p.m. every day of the week, okay? So shout out to everybody. I am a 4-time author. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. You see these books? You can get any one of this book absolutely for free. You can download them for free at loveandprestige.com. Okay, you can see the link on the screen. All right. So today we have to bring Will Smith back to the stage. How many people saw the did anybody see the Netflix show yet? You haven't seen it yet? Don't worry, I won't spoil it too much for you, okay? But again, I do offer coaching as well. My wife and I offer private coaching sessions where we get to go a little bit in depth into people's personal stories, because honestly, all this kind of stuff we do here is generalized to a large extent, okay? So be careful with what you do with them. They are good for what they're good for entertainment, for enlightenment, for education, but when it comes to experience, the closest you can get to learning these lessons in a way that's actually applicable, application level, is experience. But the closest things to experience is mentorship, coaching. And that's what we offer. You can see that at lolaandola.com/coaching. Yes, sorry about that. I had to do the house cleaning and stuff like that. Feel free to join us on WhatsApp at lolaandola.com/WhatsApp. So as I was saying, hit the like button on your way in. We have to talk about these folks right here. Chris Rock, American comedian, released the first ever live streamed comedy show on Netflix yesterday. You can still watch it. I watched some of it last night. I watched the rest of it today, and then for the first time in 1 year since the infamous Oscar slap, he spoke to it. He decided to speak about this. And it was funny. The show was funny as usual. He hit on a lot of stuff, a lot of different topics that he hit on. He talked about Will Smith and Will Smith's wife, entanglement, So that's where the title came from. One of his major talking points is that I didn't have an entanglement. Okay? What's he trying to say? Say he wasn't the one who had an entanglement. Why the name of the title of the show is Selective Outrage. Why the selective outrage? What I find is that in this market space right now, in this marketplace, it's true, a lot of people have selective outrage. A lot of people have selective memory. A lot of people have selective accountability, right? Selective everything, right? They choose selective scriptures when they want to quote the Bible. They pick the part that justify what they want to say more, But it's quite interesting. He had a few things to say. I'm going to share some of them with you. And there's still some lessons here, even for Chris Rock himself. Okay, there's still some serious lessons here. Let me share my screen with you. I got a few videos to react to today. I think about 5 different videos, So we're gonna fly through them. We're not gonna waste time. Again, I don't want to waste time on these shows. I just want us to get straight to the point, so that we can encourage productivity and not just fluffy talk. Right? Let me see here. So there were quite a few things he had to say. He touched on Meghan Markle. He thinks that is selective outrage. I feel that way too. Okay, I feel that way about Meghan Markle as well. Meghan Markle happened to be, it's 2023. That's why she's getting away with a lot of this stuff. If this was 20 years ago, yeah, a majority of you probably will be judging her. To some sides, I get it. On the other flip side of things, I'm like, why did you go into that family? If you're going to, like, it almost seems like you went into the, anyway, he touched on that, And by the way, finally, they got their invitation to the coronation of Prince Harry's father, when he officially becomes the king. Let me share my screen with you. Share screen. Boom. Boom. There you go. So they finally got their invitation, right? So good for them, Again, why would they send them out of, if you see what has happened, them throwing the family under the bus, throwing themselves under the bus, and why would they still send them invitation? These are the things I want you to pay attention to. When it comes to politics, when it comes to power, when it comes to this type of powerful families around the world, powerful dynasties around the world, they will go back behind the scenes and they will stay friends, okay? And you out here with your selective outrage, you are angry, you're taking sides. I just want to point that out real quickly, right? Anyway, so we can't play any of those Netflix things here. First of all, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't watched it, but there was some other points that I wanted to bring out of this show. There were some reactions from Twitter, right? So I I keep talking about shalaye. Listen, we all do shalaye to a large extent. That's the truth. Okay. I just say try to be aware of it and try to avoid it because it doesn't really help issues. Okay. It doesn't help anything when you engage in over explaining yourself. Hey, Divine Dim Media, welcome. It does, when you over explain yourself, it just, the person, usually the people you over see, when you had the word over to explain, right? That means you've explained, but they're not getting you, and you feel the need to make sure that they get you. You also apply this in marriages too, right? You're trying to get them to see your point, and the truth is that they're not listening. They're not listening anymore. They've shut down. They're done with the conversation. They're not open-minded to what you have to say, at least not now. And the key thing is, a lot of times in marriages and relationships, it's not now. And if you're able to do that, so you can see some of the same principles that will show up in other areas of life, for example, at macro levels when we're dealing with power and politics, right? So, but of course, I understand that he's really giving it his best. I'm talking about Chris Rock now. He waited long enough. Like, he hasn't really said anything since then. So he tried, because for most people, they won't be able to wait that long. They will feel the need to say something, to send the goons, to say, they want to throw jabs. Now, he did say quite a few things in this show, and I'm gonna highlight some of them. He said a few things, but the truth is that no matter what you have to say, listen, if somebody smack you with a punch in your face, you will react now, if you're a normal person. But also, Chris Rock is not a random number. He's one of the most powerful comedians in America, right? So it's not as simple as he should just run out there and start overreacting. But I'm also glad that it wasn't out there being too quick to almost apologize. Some people will almost apologize because Will Smith is that guy. He's powerful. He can make people that he's offended apologize to him. I bet some of those have happened before, right? Because you're like, food on the table. Let me make sure I protect my income. Let me not bite the hands that feed me and things like that, right? So people do that. People tend to do that, So let's be guided. Wait, Chinye day here. How you day, Chinye? Anyway, so here's the thing. Like, I think he took his time, but nonetheless, I'm like, some of the things he was saying, it was like, I don't think there was any way to say what he had to say, right? I'm gonna mention some of them to you in a second here. But let's see. Let me go through them, and then okay. So he touched on Meghan Markle, right? He touched on the victim mentality. Of course, when he was talking about, everyone wants to be a victim, he had to say this. You will see me say that here sometimes. He had to, again, apologize before he says it. And this is a very terrible place where the society is. You have to apologize before you say certain things that should have been very, very simple understanding between adults, right? One of those things is when you have to hold people accountable in terms of what they believe in. Maybe they were a victim. Maybe they are still. You can even arguably say they're still a victim. But you can observe that they're not really open to help. They will rather keep talking about how much of a victim they are, right? Then you have to kind of apologize, because there are people that are very sensitive to victim shaming, okay? When you watch it, you will see that part. He had to apologize first before he said, hey, people would rather be a victim. He was talking about how to get popular in this time and age. How to get popular in this time and age. You have to show your ass, be a victim, or become someone like Serena Williams. We all know that becoming someone like Serena Williams is hard, right? That's actually doing work of a decade, more than a decade, even up to 2 decades or 3 decades, right? So most people, what are they doing right now? They go look for attention. The easiest way to get attention, he said, right, is to show your ass on social media. And a lot of people are doing that. Some people do it by actually being a Kardashian, like actually showing their body when they put themselves out there, over excessively, of course. And some people, they do it by anytime there's a crisis in the family, they're the first to run into the internet and tell the whole world, all 20 million monitoring spirits, Why? Because of the attention, the dopamine. You already know. Listen, all of us, we know that there's nobody on the internet that really cares to help you. You know that. But what do you do? Like, I must tell the whole world. The whole world must know. You see people filming people, right? I'm going to give you an example of that in a second. So he talked about victim. He talked about Meghan Markle. He talked about... Let me play this. No, I'm not going to play that. He talked about the A word, baby deletion. But it was extremely sarcastic the way it was narrated. But it's comedy. So I understand it. I'm going to give you another example in a second of people that try to use sarcasm and condescension to get real life messages across. Unless we're talking about comedy, no, it doesn't work. Okay, nobody's gonna sit down there and listen to you being condescending and being sarcastic when they didn't pay to come and see you. Now they paid to go and see him, so he can get away with that, you know. But he talked about that, and I think you should watch it. There's a part of the baby deletion politics that's just really becoming very, very sad. You have, like, okay, so I say when you accept small worry, you should be willing, you should know that you're ready to accept even bigger worries, okay? Because you just never know when somebody's going to take that worry and help you take it to the next level, okay? See, so I understand it's my body, my choice, but you know, it's a small worry. Maybe it's not even worry at all, but some people, they will take that, they turn it to little worry. And then somebody's going to help you take that worry to the next level. Hey, that's where we are right now. People are willing to justify BS with anything. Okay, so listen, you'll be hearing me more and more push against some of those things, but really what I'm looking for is to have a conversation, because I don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers. I have some, okay, but I don't have all the answers, okay. But the point I'm making there is that let's be guided on whatever ideologies you're believing in, whatever you're subscribing to. Let's start to analyze things a little bit deeper. Don't just run with it because it's the talking point that everybody is saying, right? My body, my choice. Do you know that even that could mean to you, like, hey, we should stop oppressing certain group of people? There's somebody that's saying, you know, I'm just going to behave reckless in this street just because of that, right? Maybe that person is going to end up being somebody, a relative, your children, you know, God forbid, and they will hurt themselves. Listen, freedom is cute, right? But freedom is like anything else in life. It's double-edged sword. You can destroy yourself with freedom, right? So he talked about that. He talked about that as well. What else did he talk about? Let me just make sure that I'm on the right side of the screen here. Let's see. There you go. Okay, awesome. 1 second. Okay, great. Let's see something here. Let's try that. Okay, better. All right, so freedom is something that we really have to start. When you're looking for freedom or rights or privilege, there's a fine line. There's a blurry line between. Shout out to Life with Natu. Hey, there's a fine line, blurry line between freedom, privilege, rights, all this kind of stuff, especially when it comes to how we live our personal lives. I think it's okay. I think it's good that we have rights, human rights and stuff like that. But when it comes to the family structure, we have to really be guided. Okay. When it comes to romantic issues, when it comes to emotional issues, when it comes to how you relate with people in your personal life, you know, at the end of the day, the government will fight for you. They'll put certain policies in place to help everybody at large. But when we start to break it down to individual levels, you have to be careful. You have to be very careful. So he talked about the A word, baby deletion. He talked about kids are mean. Kids can be wicked. I agree. Okay, some of you, when you hear kids, no, but kids they didn't bring themselves into this world. How can you say that about kids? I beg you, go do all right. Kids are mean. Kids are narcissistic. They don't care about your feelings. Okay, how can we use such words with kids? Listen, you're missing the point. That's the issue. We'll have that conversation when we get there. Okay, when we get there, and once you understand that, also understand that can be used wrongfully. What I just said could become a talking points that will be used wrongfully too, you know. But it was good comedy when he was saying it, but he also gave a good example of his own children. Parenting is something that we all have to deal with. And by the way, your marriage, your personal love life, romantic relationships, part of it's a function of your parenting skills. Did you know that? Like kids can literally destroy your marriage for you. Are you aware of that? You know that directly and indirectly they can help you create how you move, right? Because again, crisis is wherever crisis come from, right? It's about how you respond to crisis. When you get hit with crisis, all of us get hit with crisis. You just, things will happen, you'll be like, where did that come from, right? And naturally you're going to react, right? You're just going to react because it feels like an attack on your soul, on your mind, on your emotions. And the natural thing to do when you feel attacked is to defend yourself. What does defending yourself feel like on the other side? That relationship, offensive, right? These are some of the things you should pay attention to. He talked about nothing can be more powerful than the female beauty. Do you all agree to that, by the way? Nothing is more powerful than female beauty. Do you all agree to that? Let me see. I've seen people disagree with that heavily. Kids can be so cruel, right? Do you all agree that there's nothing more powerful than the female beauty? I mean, I don't know why anybody in their right mind will be arguing with this when there's tons and tons and tons of history surrounding this, right? But we still have people arguing with that on the internet, and usually they're woke. They're woke people that accuse people of being woke. It's weird. It's one of the weirdest things ever. You have woke people who are claiming to be woke, accusing other people of being woke. It's confusion everywhere, But anyway, now when he got to the Will Smith talk, which was, let me help you guys cheat. It was the last 10 minutes of the show, okay? So I'm glad that he did a full-blown show without talking about him, but last 10 minutes he gave that to him. He said, "I'm not a victim. Never going to see me on Oprah crying." I am not a victim. You're never going to see me on Oprah crying. Do you, anybody seen that show where Will Smith crying on Oprah? Was he crying on Oprah? He was, right? Anyway, that's what happens. Will Smith can understand this because he's also a comedian. So I'm sure he can understand that, right? He said people were asking him if the punch hurt. He said, yes, it hurt. He's significantly bigger than me. Then he goes on to say, everybody knows what happened. I had nothing to do with that ish, right? Everybody knows I didn't have any entanglements. Listen, I think Will Smith and his wife should just go ahead and trademark the word entanglement. No, I take that back. I think they should shut up and never respond to this issue ever again. And I think I think they know better to not respond to this, Oh, Jesus Christ. I had nothing to do with that ish. Everybody knows I didn't have any entanglements, okay? Then he went on to say, everybody know what happened. Everybody knew that his wife was effing her son's friend. Jesus Christ. Hey, listen, the issue here, I've talked about this a few times in the past before we started the Prestige Hour. Prestige Hour is hanging for now, by the way. This is Serene Sunday, so I gotta calm down. Serene Sundays. Okay. All right. So, I've talked about this in the past. This is not the major thing that they did wrong. It's not even, I know you're like, wait, he was having his son's friend. That's not the wrong thing. I was like, no, that's not the major wrong thing they did. You have to think about the fact that this is Will Smith, okay? That name is power. At first, he said he called him Will. He called him Suge Smith. Oh, that was funny too. He called him Suge Smith, right? So it's not about, this is a powerful institution. Chris Rock is an institution. Will Smith is also an institution. Will Smith is a bigger institution than Chris Rock. But they're both institutions, meaning people will take sides, people will fight over them and stuff like that, right? And we're talking about we're talking about punch slapping somebody on the Oscar stage. Can you do that? If you go in that building and do that, can you get away with it? Right? So these are obviously these are institutions, and it was they calm people down. Nobody was arrested. That's another cue to tell you that these are powerful people at the end of the day, right? So I hope they know. But powerful people, they said there's a saying. I think it says the rich also cry, something like that. Is that the no? I think it sounds a lot more wise than that. Let me see. Is it the rich also cry? Something like that, right? But anyway, they're human still, right? So they hurt just like normal people, right? So they can overreact, right? They still have emotions. No matter how much they try to stay away from the comments, and when there's comments that's going viral about somebody like Will Smith, it will get to, even if he tried his best to not see them, it will get to him. Now we're talking about comments about his wife that clearly he loves, not just his wife, the mother of his 3 kids. Is it 3 or 2 kids? 2 kids, I guess. Is it 2 kids? 2 kids, yeah, 2 kids, right? So we're talking about they've been through everything, right? So speaking of they've been through everything, what are we talking about here today? What are we talking about? Let me do, I think I may find some other, let's see here. Okay, not this one. That was Megan talking. Okay, this one right here. There you go.
Decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into
Let's go back
to an entanglement with.
Let me reload that, right?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that, I promise. I was like, where are the keys? Where do I stop this, right? Anyway, but there's a part in it that it's just wrong. Let me go back.
Decided we were.
All right, this part right here.
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and
all right, so that part, a lot of people don't talk about that part. They decided they were going to take their space. You can interpret that in so many different ways. Taking his space. What is husband and wife doing taking space? That means they're separated. That means they're not together, right? Legally married, but not together, right? So people can argue that it wasn't really cheating, right? But your son's friend, yeah, it's a little bit, it's a lot, it's a lot. So if anybody is going to claim to have any kind of emotional centeredness here, if you understand frame of reference, if you understand with respect to what, if you understand percentage with respect to what, if you understand math, subjective, it depends on what we're talking about, kind of deal, right? Listen, nobody will want to be in Will Smith's space. Nobody prays to be in the space that Will Smith was when he sat down with his wife to have this conversation. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. It was a terrible idea, right? To have that sit down. Listen, obviously, shout out to Auntie B. I was on Auntie B earlier. They were talking about cheating and stuff. Everybody wants to talk about what's wrong about cheating. You want me to tell you how cheating is wrong? It's as simple as that. I don't know why we're going back and forth about cheating being wrong or not. It's wrong. Either it's one time or about 50 times. Cheating is wrong, right? If you want to have extra conversations around that, then we need to get in a little bit deeper. So sleeping with his son's friends is wrong, right? But they're still staying together, and somebody is interpreting that as Will Smith being weak, right? I get it. I understand it, right? But I guarantee you, if we sit down and we start to analyze, right, which one is weaker in this situation, I think we might have a different opinion, but I'll leave that alone because that's an old conversation. Bottom line is that they're still together and they're still married. And my prediction is very unlikely they will ever divorce. And people say, oh yeah, of course they can't divorce because they're in an open marriage. No, you're wrong about that too. They never admitted to that. If you've seen it, let me know. Okay, that's just a rumor that have been going around forever. I believe that they tried that open relationship BS and it backfired, right? But it's not something they've admitted to. I don't think it's anything that's actually relevant to the fact that your wife messed with somebody that was close to your son. I don't think it's relevant, right? So anyway, Will Smith was absolutely wrong about two things. I remember covering this in the past. Bringing your issues to the public, right? What did he say? Let me show you what did Chris Rock say, right? Chris Rock said, for some reason they put that stuff on the internet. This message is for those of you that are quick to say speak your truth, okay? Those of you that are very quick to tell people to speak their truth. Especially when you're talking to a man. I think a man being advised to speak his truth needs to be extremely careful. Okay? You should always say less than necessary. Listen, this is man of prestige. You should always say less than necessary. You should not be volunteering information because you think you're woke. Okay? You're going to hurt yourself. The same people you're trying to speak your truth to, they don't care and they will use it against you. Okay? Speak your truth. Speak the truth. That's another one. In fact, this day they don't say speak your truth. Many of these gentlemen feel like it's not my truth, it's just the truth. No, you're wrong. Okay, it's still your truth. And when you speak your truth, somebody's going to interpret it with their own truth, and they will shame you for you. They will drag you with it, and you will overreact still, and you will still continue to find yourself in the poto. It's shalaye. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Okay, you're not speaking no truth. You can't monopolize truth. You're speaking out of your feelings. You're caught up in your feelings. You feel the need to be validated. You need people to agree with you. And they still won't agree with you. They will drag you. Just wait. They might agree with you right now in this moment. If you wait a few more days, they will drag you. Okay? So when you say speak your truth, what I said is there's nothing wrong with speaking your truth. But be careful. On what platform are we speaking our truth on? Are we talking to the whole world, or I'm speaking my truth to my wife? I'm letting her understand how I feel, right? Or I'm talking to someone that's a safe space, a counsel, a wise counsel, someone that can advise me, right? That's the part I say be careful about, okay? Sometimes some things need to be said publicly. That's the truth, right? Before you can feel better about moving forward, right? But I'm just saying, let's be careful with that. Okay, so Will Smith and his wife, they were being woke. They were speaking their truth. They were trying to help somebody. It's stupid. It's dumb. They're still being dragged after God now since 2020. We're what now? 2023. It will not stop. Okay, they have to learn how to cope with this. They need to engage counseling and therapy on a regular basis, because not the part that she slept with his son's friend. That's not that part. The part where they feel the need to overreact to the public, to the extent where you climb a worldwide stage to go and slap another man in the mouth. That's the second thing you did wrong. You never do that. Assault will never help you. Okay? Random assault where you didn't have any business with the person. There was no negotiation there was no negotiations involved. It's not like you're fighting one country to another. Random assaults is not going to help you. Okay? You're just going to be a clown in these streets, and it's not going to help. Okay? It's not going to help because you live in a society where that's frowned at. But we kind of know that Will Smith knew that, right? But that's the overreaction part, right? This is the part where I said protect your family, okay? How do you protect you have to protect your ex too, okay? If you've divorced with a person, you want to drag them to the street of the internet, protect your ex too, especially if there are children involved. Okay, forget children for a second, right? Protect your ex too, because you never know if their worry is bigger than yours. When they do react, can you handle it? You don't know that. You're just angry. You're just angry, right? So we're talking about anger. We're talking about two things: anger and this idea of speaking your truth. Are you sure that you are speaking your truth? Are you sure about the platform where you're speaking your truth? Listen, you're gonna get what do you call it? They call it temporary closure, right? And then you wake up the following morning and you still feel like, ish, I'm trying to keep it clean, right? That's what we're dealing with here. So, the female turns me's head. I agree, as long as it's inward and outward beauty. Shade. I wasn't trying to show shade, I promise. Wasn't Chris Rock a serial cheater? Chris Rock has a lot of good marriage lessons in his material. You should go watch his last two comedy shows. He actually said something about he regrets, right? He said he woke up and his pillow was smelling. I don't want to spoil it for you, right? Like a lot of things that women can bring to the right woman, of course, right? And you just take things for granted. When people are when anything is readily available, you take them for granted, right? You start to, the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. So when people, they will never stay with Jada Smith. I'm like, you don't know what you don't know. You're Will Smith, you never stay with Jada Smith. You don't know why he's staying with Jada Smith. You don't know what you don't know. The only thing you know is what is being pushed on the internet, which is limited information. Why? Because they're powerful. In fact, in that industry, they're scared of talking about them, just in case you don't know. That's how powerful you need to become. Okay, you can't become that powerful if you're just jabber and know everything you just want to say because somebody says speak your truth. You cannot become that powerful if there's no misery about you. If we all know everything about you, right? Just even think about Chris Rock. Why is Chris Rock one of the most powerful comedians? He takes his time to release his material. Even after getting punched, slapped in the mouth, he took his time before he said something about it. Even after saying something about it, he was still getting dragged today. I'll show you that in a second. He was still getting dragged. Ha! He was getting dragged today. Even after waiting a whole year. Because the things you say can be used against you. It's not the first time you're hearing that now. Yeah? Yeah, Will Smith is a crybaby. He's an emotional guy. If you read his book, you'll get a clarity on that. They will never get a break from that word entanglement. They just own it right now. Yes, just own it. And somebody trying to make money with it, you should just send somebody 3 layers over to go and slap them with a lawsuit. But no, it's not worth it. Ola, we know they will respond as per wahala. Trouble. Which means what a lot of men don't want to be, which is being vulnerable. And Will Smith, they are mad that Will Smith is taking the same age he gave his wife. What is his crime? Yeah, Will Smith, in my opinion, is a stronger man than majority of those men out in the streets, especially the YouTube warriors that have a lot of fight with women. Many of them are too soft to understand what's going on here. But it's okay. It's understandable. I didn't mean to do that, I promise. You guys are still talking about the sound. It's a stretch. She went overboard. It is a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But I keep telling you, ladies, a lot of men they deal with this kind of stuff behind the scenes. You just will never know because it has a lot to do with a man's ego. If he decides he wants to stay with his woman, that's not something that's recorded anywhere for the most part, But there are, if you go dig up, I don't have anyone, but if you go dig up some studies that has been done, usually they do anonymous, so they'll tell you the real truth. I think one thing you'll find out is that women are cheating. Okay, they're engaged in infidelity. Forget that. Okay, majority of us here were Nigerians. Okay, paternity fraud. Okay, paternity fraud. Oh, not just because my wife couldn't do, I wanted to help. No, stop the cap. Okay,
stop the cap.
Yeah, no. Okay. One too many, okay, of those kind of stories breaking out from time to time. One too many, okay. So even that one can kill. Now, with regards to social construct, you're right. Somebody just said, let me see, I think it's right on the screen. She says Will Smith also cheated, although it's not tit for tat. Even try tit for tat if you're a woman. This is one of the things you need to understand. Ladies, I know you don't like to hear this. I know. It is not the same, It is not the same. How do I know? Because you ladies react differently when you see a woman cheat and a man cheats. It's not. Forget us men for a second, right? You ladies react differently. You weigh that differently. The only time you don't weigh that differently is when you're just talking in a chat. But in real life, if somebody's son ends up having a wife who cheated, do you respond the same way? No, now, because the social construct makes it different. Listen, double standard is a beast that you can't. It's just what it is, right? The double standard exists on both ends. On both ends. In this case, double standard is in favor of men. So they can misbehave in the street and come home and people say, forgive them now. You're right. It's just a reality. Right? It's the reality. In that same show with Chris Rock, he also said, he was talking about the beauty thing. He said, if a man gets hit on the road, right, and he's sleeping down there with his prick out there like that, right, naked, people would drive around him and be going. But if it's a woman, people will cover her up. It's double standard. That's the simplest one I gave. I can list 20. We can list 20 on each side for you, right? These are things you just know for what they are. They're unfair. Call it unfair. Sure, I agree. They're unfair, right? But it's just a reality that you need to learn and just learn how to navigate around it and still become a winner, either as a man or a woman. Okay, so power is always playing a part at any level, macro, micro, and it's about knowing the cards you are dealt and learning how to play with them, right? The parable of the talent, right? Or you can sit around and complain about the double standards of what they are. They are there for a reason, right? They're there. What reasons? Those reasons are not valid. I know it could have been, what's the word? Primitive? Is that the word? Like primal, right? It's just the way human beings has evolved over time, right? I don't know the whole thing, right? But it's just what it is. But the idea that you're just gonna do, a lot of women are, when they want to be vindictive, this is what they do, right? A lot. Minority still, okay? Not a lot of people, not like majority of people, not the whole of Nigeria. Because somebody is listening to say, yes, I knew it. All of Nigerian girls. No, you're wrong. It's still minority. It's a lot. Because a lot of 1% of 8 billion human beings is a lot of people, right? And one too many. Every time we have those examples, right? That's why we're talking about it, right? But this is not for you to run around and start generalizing with. Be careful. You will hurt yourself. Yeah, so he cheated, whatever. They have this open lifestyle that they tried because they're this woke people. Terrible idea. They're these woke people trying things and then they backfired. And now they put it back together and, people obviously still calling them open marriage stuff. I don't think that's what they are. If you've seen it confirmed by them anywhere, let me know. I haven't seen it. I've been saying that for 2 years. Nobody has shown me anything, Yeah. No to Shalaye. No, there was rumors that the story was leaked and they wanted to counter it. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all rumors. It's still rumors. It was never admitted by them, right? So the vindictive thing, when you're being vindictive, ladies, when you're being vindictive, remember women are incubators, right? When they receive, they multiply and they reciprocate. You'll hurt yourself. You will hurt your children. Okay? Be guided. Okay? Oh, he did this, so let me do mine too. And then you lost your senses, and then before you know it, you're not having to commit paternity fraud. A lot of those cases are cases like that. Somebody was being vindictive, now somebody got pregnant, and then they did paternity fraud. A lot of those cases are like that. And now it's like, nah, let me just cover it up. And then but I'll tell tomorrow. I'll tell next day. I'll tell. And then it gets easier and easier to keep that secret, but it's eating you up inside, right? It gets easier from a physical standpoint, but it's eating you up inside. And then now we have more men doing those secret paternity fraud all over the place. I'm going to cover that in a little bit here in a second too. Protect your family. Yep. I see you. I'm Bassi. I'll come to you. Shout out to you. 1 second. Let's see. Let me make sure I pinned. Did I pin? Okay, I pinned that to the top. Just wanted to make sure I pinned that to the top. It's a lesson. Chris Rock was the one throwing shade when she said that He will not go to Oprah to cry. Yeah, he was throwing shit. Yeah. Thank you. I missed that. People, you can't please them at all. Yeah, be careful with trying to please people, man. It doesn't. Once they make up their mind, at least temporarily leave them alone. Leave them alone. Manosphere dudes are fragile. They feed vex for oxygen. Yeah, that's what happens when men find themselves in that space. When that the natural essence of a man is not in that feminine energy, and it's just a terrible sight to see. Women cheat just as much as dudes. A lot. You know, celebrities live different. Yo, did you see how Adam Levine's wife reacted to his cheating? Oh yeah, that one, right? That was like some few months ago. They mostly have agreements to allow their spouses to. It's a terrible idea. See, when you're celebrities, and I said there are institutions like Adam Levine. I don't even know what it looks like, but I know that name is an institution. I think I have an idea, right? But then they try to act like they're still not humans. No, you're a human being. That's stupid. It's open lifestyle. We do this like you're a human being. It's stupid. If it doesn't come out in your lifetime, it will come out in life after. And it might haunt your children, generations to generations to come. Certain news that they will see. And if you were looking at it, you wouldn't like it, right? You make life a lot harder for them. Just because you wanted to do something alternative that's contrary to what we can clearly see is more natural, right? I'm just saying, listen, natural too evolves, right? So let's just be guided. Everybody trying to pretend like they're now woke and they want to do something different because we're enlightened, but when you're being enlightened, be guided, because for every solution that's created, a new problem is created. Literally. That's literally. As in, like, that's just a fact of life. Right? So every time you come up with something new and it's all flashy and looks good and you say we're free at last, be guided, though. Be guided. You know? Most women themselves accept cheating is okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Thank you so much. Yeah, so let's do this. Let me bring my sister here to the stage. Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi, Ola.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's Sunday. I'm trying to be serene Sundays, but these conversations.
Can I say, first of all, I want to give you your flower for the way that you celebrated your wife. On YouTube, I read the message and I was like, men need to come on this here and just see how Ola celebrated. I mean, and I know it's he was like, oh, it's worse, like it's like you can feel the love, even though I'm not your wife. It's like, this is for me. But,
you're making me blush. I'll blush.
Oh no, really? Like men need to learn from men, and I think men is the better version of human being that can teach men how to be a man. You understand what I mean? And I think, and I hope that men just follow other men and to learn how to celebrate each other. Like when you are in a committed relationship, this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. Kudos to you. Let me say that first. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. She deserves this. She's a good girl.
Oh wow, I know. So, I'm coming so late, but I joined when you are saying that women are incubator, and I was laughing so hard, and for us to be very careful, how we, react to that statement, because, in my time when I was in the trouble, when my spouse was cheating on me, I thought about cheating back. That crossed my mind because I was hurt that much. Like, maybe if I do eye for eye, maybe then he will feel it, right? And I was on my way there with an ex-boyfriend that we linked up. This is something that we were talking back and forth. So mind you, I'm still in this marriage, right? We were talking back and forth. And something in me just doesn't sit well with it. Like, this is just wrong. This is just not me. And that little, it was just for like a slight window, a crack of window, a little bit. We didn't see each other in person or anything. It's just a conversation, right?
Yeah.
But inside of me, I know that is not me at all. As a matter of fact, I felt disgusted about it. And I feel disrespected of myself. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is not me.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this to say that kind of give me the one of the clarification I was looking for. Like, you know what? As a human being, if you have a purpose, you don't need anybody to tell you what is wrong from what is right, to tell you how to do right from wrong or wrong from right. You yourself, you check yourself on all of those things. And if you cannot do that as a person, whether you're a man or a woman,
right,
then you go get some help somewhere, because nobody have time. I'm not gonna be telling another adult how I want you to treat me, or this is what I deserve from you, and you must do this for me because we're in this relationship. No, I do not have the time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's word. It's true. You know, a lot of people. You know, I always come from the angle of like, someone is trying to be evil. If that's how you see it, you will overreact to it, because you know, the being vindictive is a function of you feel like this person has been wicked. So I tell people to slow down with somebody's just being outrightly wicked. This person was married to you, they sleep next to you, and they sleep next to you, and they'll be snoring. And yes, they were participating in bad behavior. There's a good chance that it's not just outright. It's not just wickedness. It is wicked. It makes you feel like somebody's being wicked, right? But you have to think a little bit deeper than that. Like, the easy part is always wicked. Let's go a little bit deeper, because if you don't, there's only one thing you do to people that are wicked to you. You destroy them now, right? And this could be a person that's the father of your children, the mother of your kids. It could be somebody that you get value from engaging them in the first place, in that level, right? But when you feel attacked in that way, or you feel like somebody betrayed you in that way, it's very hard to not feel like you should do the same thing back at them. So I get it. I know where, and that's why I'm saying be careful, because I don't want to judge a person that feels that way, but be careful to not, that vindictive spirit is a terrible thing, especially if you're a woman. You're going to multiply in folds the effect of what you're about to do in many areas. You're going to multiply it. It's not going to feel as simple as, oh, just another man who cheated. No, it's going to be like, every woman you know will feel like, that's bad. You know? But I get it. And he's usually the ex-boyfriend from high school or something. The stories are everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah. And it's only a matter of time before you hook up. You know?
Oh, of course.
You can fly to anywhere in the world in 24 hours.
I had all the time and the money to do whatever I wanted, if I wanted to do that. And again, that speaks volume to when you have the power to do whatever, but you choose to do the right thing, or you choose to do the wise thing. You don't want to do the eye for eye. I think that speaks volume about a person, because at that stage, I'm the one that I was controlling how I feel and how I move and what I want to do, and I know I can do it. And I feel like but I chose not to do that, because again, that was just not me. That could have been just too much. And then, they say, like, just because somebody's been wicked to you, don't turn yourself to the same person like him. Then you are two wicked people.
They call it matching energies. I'm match energies.
Exactly.
Like, you want match energy? Continue. You want to match energy, Abby? Continue. But it's even men. Sorry, I have a finger in it. But anyway, even men cannot afford to do that. As a man, you carry so much, right? And it's easy to see it as, I can get any chick I want, right? Like they're all over me. Especially once you start getting into 32, 33, 34, 35 years old, you smell good. Every woman wants a piece of that. If you're a good-looking man, So your ego might let me, but because that's you're spreading your seeds all over the place. Those seeds are powerful enough; they can germinate anything. They'll come back and haunt you 10
For the
years
rest
from
of your
now.
life. Yeah.
And you're like, where did that come from? And it to disrupt your whole life. Now, how you felt, maybe when you were 22, it doesn't matter. You have a second baby man. But when you're 32, you now have a lot to lose. And somebody is coming out of nowhere with a 10-year-old child. And you're like, I can't afford for that. You never know where you're going to be. So you can't afford to just be reckless. We're all human beings. Nobody is perfect. I hate sounding like I'm perfect. I actually hate it. Because I tell human beings, get yourself off that pedestal every time. Humble, humility, right? But you just never know. Let's calm down, including when you think I could never. No, it will come from a different angle, and you find yourself in Poto and you'll be like, I didn't know that would be me ever. Like there's a lot of women who have committed that paternity fraud thing that would say they heard that story before and they were like, that would never be me. But then they find themselves in the situation and they're like, wow, I can't believe.
You know what? You know one of the things that in my single younger day I'll say I would never do is fight over a man. Like, who are you? Why would I want to fight over you? Who are you? Let me tell you, in my marriage, I end up calling some side chick somewhere, like cussing this lady out because I was that like, why are you, within my heart? I mean, I was lying there with this husband of mine that I'm supposed to be pounding on, but I was calling this woman miles away. Things I thought I would never do. I did that. And when I did that, it didn't make me feel better afterward. As a matter of fact, it kind of made me worse. And I had to retrace my step back. And apologize to this woman again. Can you imagine? Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like, because you were caught up in your emotions. Looks like the rest of us. You know, you weren't thinking. You were just trying to protect yourself emotionally, get an upper hand. Because when you say somebody cheated, right? It's not just Kerewa stuff. It's like somebody have one up. How do you say that? Like one up on you, right? Like that's cheating.
It's a lot that goes into it. It's not cheating. It's not cheating. Is just something on the surface. There's something deep about infidelity that people don't know until like you are in it, and if you are not very careful, that can throw you off completely to the other side of where you don't think you will ever be.
Correct. Not the cheating that your husband did now. The one where the side chick is like, no, that one cannot have an upper hand. That one. Look at what you are messing with. Now you go and fight that other person, right? It's not the person that cheated, right? The person they cheated with is also a cheater in your mind.
Yeah. Yes.
Because they're taking your territory.
Exactly. I mean, of course it's territorial. Like, what are you doing with my heart? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the person, I'm still in the same house with this person. Right, that I'm supposed to be. I'm still, but yet I feel like I need to fight the person on the other part of the wall. Like, why are you? I mean, if it felt so wrong, it was so wrong on all levels. So wrong. But again, if you are not on that level, you just don't know. Like, I was just misbehaving everywhere. Like,
you will misbehave when you feel hurt. Hurt people hurt people. Just life, But when you are aware, another level entirely. When you are aware that you're just human like everybody else, when you get hit with crisis, you drink water, you take a shower, you know that heaven is not going to fall out of the skies. Everybody last man were all right. Everybody were okay.
Yeah, I can laugh about it very much now.
Now you can laugh about it. Then you can now say, we move. Because trust me, your whole life is ahead of you. Your whole
Absolutely.
Life. Yeah. And if you calm down that way too, you will live long enough to find out that, you're not alone. Other people have had to deal with this. Like Chris Rock said, like, we've all been cheated on. None of us are being interviewed by the person who cheated on us.
Right. I need to go watch that Netflix thing. I haven't watched it yet.
You should go watch. Don't let me spoil it for you. Go watch it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right. We'll talk soon. Yeah.
All right, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. Shout out to Embassy. Let me see. So there's this one here. So he was being dragged. Well, Chris Rock was dragged. Dragged by guess who? Guess who was dragging Chris Rock today? Guess now. Yeah, guess. I'm waiting. Let's see. Well, this was
born. What? And
wait. Let me see what this one is saying.
concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
Yeah, this part, how dark his skin was going to. Because like, it's not just white people that do that. This girl was too white. She didn't realize that black people also do that. They check behind their ears to see how light skin. When I know they do it, I beg. All these woke people everywhere, like acting like something is new. There's nothing new under the sun. But I was looking for where he was dry. Okay, this is one. Chris Rock called Jada Smith bitch and said Meghan Markle played the race card, punching down on black women, clownery. Okay, so this person is actually not Oberyn. My bad, I'm sorry. Not Oberyn. But he was being dragged, okay? This is the problem with Shalaye. He did small, and they were able to dig this. See, when people are watching what you're about to say, they are actively looking for something you said that's wrong, right? Like actively, like this guy, like I will get him. He thinks he's wise, eh? You think say you wise? Yeah, I will get him.
You think say they wise?
Right? People, human beings, oh, my shit. That's why I tell people, listen.
You're right.
You don't have to do all that. You're right. Okay? Relax. Drink water. Take a shower. You're right. Okay? No, but I'm not right. You are being condescending. Which part? And here we can have a conversation now. Right? Because I really didn't mean to be condescending. It's just that, again, I know that we all want to be right. You know? So people get caught up in the need to be right. And they call it logic. Like, no, logic bit power. They why mean logic call. Logic. Yeah, we're not as logical, all of us, as you would like to fantasize about. We all get caught up in our feelings. Every single one of us, okay? Every single one of us. It is just what it is, you know. All right, so this person laughed my ass out. Everyone talking about Chris Rock's performance and can't get over the Jada and Meghan diss. Proved his point about selective outrage. See? This person is on the side. Taylor is on the side of Chris Rock now. Say selective outrage. Because again, if I talk for example, I've been talking now for a good 1 hour. There's enough of things you can find in it that you disagree with. There's more than enough. Right? So I said, listen, nothing I say is religion. Should be taken as religious anything. Take it, process it, consider it, and it's still about it, right? Just garbage, straight. Garbage. It doesn't matter. Because you still do your thing anyway. But if it helped, if it brings some kind of value to you, typically not by over-religionizing it. Is that a word? I said it anyway. It's not by saying, yeah, he's snap figure. No, it's because you processed it, right? Then I'm glad to be able to bring some value, right? But the value is actually in the conversations, not in somebody's version of truth because they call it the truth. No, that's stupid. Nobody can monopolize the truth, okay? Not your ancestors, not 1960, not what you think it was supposed to be or what it's supposed to be, not your overly progressive woke ass person. No, none of that, okay? Human beings evolve, that's a fact. But when we're evolving, slow down so you don't self-destruct, because if you move too fast, you will crash and burn. You could just collect if you move too fast because you are woke. Like, so shout out to Key was engaged in the chat. Key Pearls, right? She was talking about this girl. What's her name? I forgot the name now. I was just looking at that comment earlier. Something Taylor. I think what's her name? Let me see if I can find it again. Tiana Taylor, this one. Right? They're all stupid like that. All this woke. Like, let me try something else because what our parents did not work. Slow down on that. There's a reason why they stayed. They were getting some kind of value. Did you consider the value with respect to the time they live in? Or are you just going to run into the street and say, our parents suffer? Did they tell you they suffer? If your own told you they suffer, ask more questions now. You can just take that and run into the streets as a gospel truth now. That's slow. You're not stupid, but slow, dear. Right? He tore into everyone, Democrats, Republicans, younger generations to baby boomers, whites and blacks. Shake my head. He called white people's, on national television. Yeah, that's not national television, Netflix. Anyway, you're not talking about that though. No, they just want to talk about what they want to talk about. So Chris Rock's weak ASS decided to go in on Megan, Duchess of Sussex. Duchess of Sussex. What she spell? Duchess of Sussex, and kept up his already 20 plus years of attacking Jada. Continue his cooning trend of attacking black biracial women. Never doubted you for a second, Will. Listen, attacking Jada, most people that do that, they're weak. They're just weak people everywhere, especially if they're men. But I get it. Listen, Jada is also a powerful being. If she did something crazy like that, she go collect. It's just real life, okay? It's just real life. It is what it is, right? But I see some people, they internalize this, and it's very personal when they're talking about it. They're like, is Jada your wife? Calm down now, relax. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm seeing all this think pieces about what Chris Rock said, but he isn't saying anything new. It was funny, but there was nothing new in the whole show. I love Meghan Markle, but surely she knew that the royal family was racist. I've been saying this before she married into that family and then start crying wolf, and she's never really lived a black life. So it's kind of weird. There's a lot of people with selective outrage. I want you to start paying attention to them. When you see them, don't overreact. Just ask further questions. Because again, the idea is when you feel like you got hit with crisis, you don't overreact. You say, ask further questions. Or just leave it alone. Just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Or you can start a show like me, okay? Don't start a show if you need to say a therapy show. Some people need to be in therapy. Did you see that post? And they're starting podcasts. Another conversation entirely. And everyone was teasing Will on Twitter about Jada. They've been teasing Will all his life. Will is a big boy. He can handle it. Forever on Will Smith's side in this. It's not comedy to target Jada for 20 years. Target that couple repeatedly. They are friends. Leave it alone. Anyway, but I get what that person's saying. I know they are annoying, overshare. Yeah, they are annoying and overshare. True. So you are dragging them too. And have questionable boundaries. But Chris Rock is an insufferable jerk who mocks black women and he's a comedian. He mocks everybody. Jesus Christ. See? Everybody's sensitive. Jesus Christ. Kevin says, blah, 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 blah. I hate this type of famous black men. Dave Chappelle, Kanye, now Chris Rock, who believes that being a contrarian is trendy. All he did was prove he hates black women. No, I don't think he hates black women. It was well balanced for me. Personally, it was balanced. I could hear some manuscript rhetorics, but it's okay. It was balanced. Yeah, especially when Chris Rock hyped up numerous black women in the show. Beyonce, Serena Williams. That's a good answer. See? Perfect answer. See, all you have to do is wait long enough. Somebody will give the answer you are looking for, right? He did hype up Beyonce, Serena Williams as another way to get attention, right? Become great like that at what you do, right? His own daughters, which he did, looks like you're proving his points. Selective outrage. Yeah. It looks like a bunch of people are going to jump right through that hole of selective outrage with how they respond to this. I can't wait till you guys see it. If you see it and you want me to do another show around it, we'll do it, Chris Rock punching down on, we saw this. On black women again is unsurprising, and they support selective outrage. And support he is getting for it is even less so. Very telling, he doesn't feel comfortable fighting in front of folks. But he profits and releases. Yeah, you can't count when he's making money from that. Come on, stop it. Stop the cap. The most Chris Rock think about all of this is him screaming that you don't fight in front of white people, but not even considering what it means to make jokes about a black woman. And he waited 1 year. Kò sọ́gbọ́n tó lè dá, kò síwá tó lè wù. Chris Rock said, "You don't fight in front of white people, but I have no issues calling a black woman a BIT." He got punch slapped because of this woman. Hey, oh my, okay, all right. He overreacted, okay, by using his mouth. At least he didn't punch anybody. Wahala. Wala. Oh God. Let's see. You're right. If you have biracial children, you will get that color tone question, and most of the time it's not coming from a bad place. People are just curious. Yeah. Sometimes a very subtle, very way that makes you want to slap that person too, but you just have to kind of leave it alone. People are like that. A lot of people are colorists. Okay. Recently, I've been seeing the colorist conversation all over the place. I'm like, Emma, all right. You keep giving things name like it's something new. Like you're giving things names like it's all brand new. None of this stuff is new. Anyway, welcome to the first ever Serene Sundays. Shout out to you, Serene Sundays. I'll see you after this one on Winning Wednesdays, and then like that, we'll keep doing it like that. But I'll keep releasing videos. I'll release some shorts as well. So, but shout out to every one of you that are here right now. Hit that like button. Do me a favor, hit that like button. And I have got a few more stories to cover today. Okay, got a few more stories to cover today. So hang in there, and I'll be right back. All right. Anybody see this story? This 10 million naira story with Suleiman, Baba Suleiman. Anybody see the story yet? Suleiman, undefeated, always in the news for weird reasons. But we are here, Sha. We are here. Yep. Let's talk about. Anybody saw this story on along with this lover? But let's talk about it. You know, again, some people's money is like money misroad. Have you ever heard of the term money misroad before? Or power misroad gone self? Not really, because they know what they're doing. It's because that society, Nigeria society, in Auchi there, you know, it's majority poverty stricken, you know, and there's somebody listening to me like that. What do you mean poverty stricken? I live in Auchi and I do very well. Are you a majority? Yeah. If we drive 3 blocks down the road from you, can you say the same thing? No, you can't. These people, they build their empire among this situation. Religious empires. Okay, religious empires. Okay. And they build these religious empires among poor people. You don't think they know what they're doing? They know what they're doing now. You know, they keep them down there. So it's part of power. It's part of the power conversation. So, but anyway, apparently there was a news. I was like, this guy, the guy you're looking at on the screen, on the right of Suleiman, was it being paraded? Well, his picture was being paraded on the internet. That Gist Lover had been arrested, right? And a bunch of people were like, Gist Lover arrested BT Bow, and then the next thing, I don't know how long, because I don't follow like that, but later on, less than a day later, I just love I said arrest Vitibawo, you know. But they arrested somebody, you know. And Mr. Johnson. Yeah, they arrested somebody, and this is the story, okay? I thought it was interesting. I thought I should cover it because, you know, this guy is undefeated. He's always been in news. And the lesson here is controlling behavior, okay? There's influence and there's control. There's influence, there's control. One is sustainable, the other one is not sustainable. Influence is sustainable. More reason why it's more sustainable because it literally takes less physical energy. Like, it's just mental game, you know. Mental game, and when I say game, I don't mean manipulation. I mean just understanding how human beings operate. And you understand how to use that in your favor without hurting other people. That's why it's not manipulation, right? If it's hurting other people, that's manipulation at that point. But if it's just you understand how to use value to influence people, right? That's not controlling because they're getting value from it. Now, there's some blurry line there somewhere. It can cross lines sometimes, okay? But let's just, for now, in this conversation, control, influence, right? You can influence people, right? Sometimes you think you can control people and you attempt to do it, but you always fall on his face all the time, okay? At least in the long term, it's a terrible idea, right? You should do this, that's how it's supposed to be done. It just falls on his face all the time. It doesn't work, especially if we're talking about personal relationships. But even as we move forward into the future with regards to power at macro level, you have to pay attention. That's why democracy is popular, right? The power to the people, power to the people. Does that really mean power to the people? No, in the reality of things, only certain selected number of people have the power, right? But understanding that you show people that they have the power will put you in more power, right? You give, you focus on giving, right? And then there's a high likelihood that not only will you receive, not take, receive, but you'll be receiving for a long time. But people like Apostle Suleiman, they understand that. If they understand it theoretically, they are struggling when it comes to practice. They're always trying to control the narrative, right? Shalaye? If talking doesn't work, they will try to use money. It doesn't work. Okay? Money gonna fall on his face. Which money? The money that's becoming valueless every day. You put money in your pocket, $1. By the time you wake up the following morning, it's less value now. Is it making sense what I just said? Am I making sense? Hey Rebecca, good to see you. So Rebecca said he's not gist lover, but he wants a criminal in possession of firearms. Yes, so that's the story we're getting now. When I first saw it, gist lover was posted, so I knew it wasn't gist lover, right? It was becoming obvious. By the time I saw it, gist lover was already posting about it, so it became obvious that okay, that's clearly not that person. We will see where this ends. So then I saw this, and gist lover posted this and says this wahala no go end. They still find who they want put the wahala for him head. I deal with my cold beer. My jollof where you when your mouth is sharp up and down. Oh yeah, go follow them, do case. Make una they carry. So Mr. Jollof is the other guy who thought they caught gist lover. But it was this guy that was caught, and I still don't have the full story, but I just found it interesting that why did Mr. Johnson's name come into this again? Like this guy. Your name inside this. I thought it was gist lover being arrested, and then the next thing, Mr. Johnson's name just came inside it. So it says gist lover impersonator that took 10 million naira from, allegedly, everything I say here is allegedly. Gist lover impersonator that took 10 million naira from Apostle Suleiman to cover Sulele Nyash. Arrested. Remember during the saga, Sulele lied to the whole world that I took 10 million naira from them, and still wrote about his wandering prick. I stood my ground that I do not take bribe. Who is I? Who is gist lover? Anybody knows? Anyway, I know they take shishi. Long story short, them don't realize saying a fake page, then they pay. Why would, allegedly, but why would someone of that caliber, a man of caliber, and you know how they say, how does BO say, right? How do you go and pay random pages with no face 10 million naira? 10 million naira, long. But when you have controlling behavior, right? When you have a need, right? When you have an obsession with controlling narrative, right? You will do anything because you're caught up in your feelings. You're trying to redirect the narrative instead of to allow life. Life is undefeated. Let me tell you something. You don't have to force anything. Listen, anything I said is easier said than done. Sometimes our natural reaction is let me try to control. Let me see if I can control where the story will end. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't. It's not sustainable. It's just you don't have that much energy to keep it up with hundreds of millions of monitoring spirit on the internet. The best thing you can do, if you feel like you've been moving a certain way, change your behavior, right? Or just continue to do you. Just do you. Just do you. Anyway, long story short, they don't realize saying a fake page then pay. The matter they Kirikiri now. Kirikiri is a prison yard. prison institution in Nigeria. They don't carry impersonator and wife. Now impersonator family is in my DM crying. What a day to be alive. I have been vindicated. Okay, I don't know Aegis lover, so. But anyway, if you are being vindicated is better than being vindictive. We've been having that conversation today, right? Being vindictive will hurt yourself. Being vindicated is a better feeling where you didn't have to move an arm or a leg, but you knew that you had to maintain certain level of emotional self-control. While everything was going down, you felt like you should react, but something told you that you should put that fight in the hands of God, right? And then the best feelings, I've been through it before, I know, okay? Story for another day. The best feeling is when you feel vindicated without having to lift any physical arm or anything like that. And people will fight your battles. You don't have to wait for God. They will fight your battles for you, right? They will drag them in the poto, and you didn't have to touch nothing. Only if you understand the principles, Sha. But if you want to help yourself, help yourself. It's just not sustainable. You get tired and you make things worse. But even people like Mr. Johnson no understand them, allegedly. Please swipe to read the full gist. I don't read anything. I think that's enough lesson in that. What do you all think? Timba and Caliber, thank you, Jerry. What do you all think? Somebody said nobody knows. Yeah, we don't know. It's because he's guilty of the things he's accused of. Yes, and there's the angle of, you're right, he's guilty, right? But there are people that are actually guilty, but also, they also understand. you want to know what example that is? They are guilty, but they know that they shouldn't be responding to nonsense. Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess who I'm talking about? Anybody want to guess? Or somebody who is powerful like that, he knows he's guilty, right? But he will continue to be diplomatic about it. Anybody?
Different from bad.
Anybody want to guess?
Different from bad blue. Bulaba.
Listen, I'm telling you, this world is not a straight line as you might be thinking. It's just not. And if you think so, I guess you'll continue to find out that it's not, right? You will continue to find out this world is not as straightforward as right and wrong. It's just not. Okay? Because even you that you are right, we don't know what your ancestors did. We don't know. Who's going to be acting all holy here now? We don't know what we don't know. Right? We don't know. Yeah. Can the money be received anonymously or be in a Bitcoin they are using? Listen, these people, they get away with a lot, and sometimes they keep doing it until they get caught. They will do enough time until they get caught. So, the people that are usually caught up in their feelings to be giving this kind of money, to be bribing people to try to correct narrative or redirect narrative, they don't think that far. They're just trying to shut down the story as fast as humanly possible. They think they were powerful in 92, 93. They were powerful in 2002, maybe 2012. But it's 2023, it gets worse and worse. The more you want to engage your controlling behavior, the worse it gets. The worse it's going to get. Okay. So, yeah, let's leave that conversation there. I'm sure he will get in the news again, directly and indirectly, and we will talk about it allegedly. Okay. Yeah, that's Mr. Johnson for you. It's a gift that keeps giving. I'll be right back. All right, let's talk about Blessing CEO. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria because I'm reacting to their stuff. But yeah, let's go through this video. I want you to listen carefully to this video. Share your thoughts in the chat and let's talk about it. Okay. She has a word for you ladies.
Married women, tell me waiting they happen. What's going on? Like, what is happening? Talk to me. Like, let's talk sister to sister, woman to. What is happening? Married women, what is happening? Your husbands are beginning to find out. Like, you're overdoing. I know that when a woman wants to do her own, we can overdo. I know a lot of men are cheating, they have baby mamas and side chick, I understand. But your husbands are beginning to find that they are now doing DNA without your consent. My married women, what is going on? The cheating is becoming so alarming, and you are cheating shamelessly. Like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Your husband are beginning to find out these small boys you are sleeping with. They now know. Many of them now know that you are cheating. They are waiting to catch you red-handed and disguise. What is going on? Is it lack of communication? He's not hitting you well. Are you guys not talking about it? Waiting they happen. It's becoming. Married women, tell me, waiting they happen. So bad. So bad that a lot of married women are becoming more wayward than single girls. This is a cause for alarm. Like, a lot of married women have become so shameless when it comes to sleeping around with small boys. Has it gotten that bad? Has it gotten really that bad? Like, why is it so hard when the marriage is not working for you to take a walk or for you to just give space? Why do you have to stay in a marriage and be debasing yourself and be reducing yourself? Why? Why? Because it's becoming so embarrassing. And the annoying part about women is the fact that we are emotional beings. You will sleep with these men and sleep to the point that you do this thing without protection and get pregnant and hang it on your husband's head. Like, what kind of evil is that? What's so bad? What manner of witchcraft are you practicing? What is it? If this marriage is not working, take a walk. Even if you say you want to do this waka, use protection now. I'm not saying married women should cheat, but I'm saying you are an adult now. I cannot hold your kpekus, but protect yourself now. You know, all these small boys also sleep with all these small girls and are hovering around with infection. Protect your family now. Like, I don't know how a married woman is cheating and she gets so carried away with cheating, forgetting that she has a family to protect. Don't even give me that. And what about men? Men to cheat. Don't give me that. Don't give me that, please. Don't give me. Men are more in the receiving end. Don't give me that. You are not a man. If a man is cheating on you and you feel you cannot take it, it is stupid for you to start using cheating to revenge with your husband or your husband. It's foolishness to use cheating to revenge. No. What manner of witchcraft are you practicing? What is it?
Juju be that?
The revenge. There are lots of ways to than debasing yourself, than sleeping with boys that are not worth it just because you want to revenge to your husband that he's cheating or because he has a baby man or whatever, bad attitude your husband have. What's your excuse? What is your excuse? That your husband is a cheat, your husband is not good in bed, your husband has what is your excuse? Give me that flimsy excuse. I want to hear it. It is arrant foolishness. If your husband is cheating or your husband is misbehaving, you talk about it. If you feel that the marriage is no longer working, you give space. You don't have to disrespect yourself or debase yourself or reduce yourself just because you want to revenge with a man. Revenging with your body is using kpekus to revenge to your husband. Like, who does that? You reduce yourself and sleep just because your husband decides to be silly.
Sorry about that.
Play like it's becoming so alarming. Even people who come for therapy, come on now, it's too much. And the annoying part is that the women are becoming so careless that it's now on the street. Like, you shamelessly take off your rings, you shamelessly take these boys to your matrimonial homes. You shamelessly take these boys to your kids, like your children even know most of the guys that you're sleeping with. Has it gotten that bad that you can no longer at least protect your children? Please. It's becoming very, very disgraceful. And the most annoying part is that as a woman, don't even tell me to mind my business. Because if you ask me to mind my business, I'm going to be very upset with you. Just because your husband. Because like this, the men will begin to categorize us and put us in the same class. When we also marry tomorrow, our husbands will begin to see us like every other woman that they read here or they see there. It's affecting us. Now, just because of your misbehaving. So it's affecting the women community, the women association, our gender. God us just because of you debase yourself. You reduce the woman's gender just because you want to have 1 minute pleasure. If the marriage is not working, take a walk. Instead of disgracing our gender. Please, it's becoming irritating. If you know you are tired of the marriage and the marriage is no longer giving the satisfaction that you want and you can no longer communicate with your husband, take a walk. You don't have to bring disgrace to yourself and your entire generation just because you want to enjoy a few minutes pleasure that your husband cannot give to you. When you were desperately choosing the... Because when you finish Miss Man without looking at the red flags, without taking your time to read his background, you said we should mind our business. When you were desperately getting married and you did not want to pay attention, you said we should mind our business. You said you did not care. All you wanted was a man in your life. All you wanted was the ring and to pepper them on Instagram. Why is it a big issue right now? Why are you complaining about the same things that you accepted? You asked us to mind our business. Hey! I hear me on you. Now you are saying that he's a woman. Didn't you see all those things? But you were desperately getting into the marriage, thinking that when you enter a marriage, you're going to change the man. Now the man is changing you into something you don't even recognize, into something you don't even like. Please. This is becoming one of the most annoying things. If you know as a woman that you're married and your marriage is not working, don't sleep around. That's the most thing to do, to say you are revenging to your husband just because you want to start sharing your kwekus up and down without... I have said it over and over. I'm going to keep repeating it. Culture will not what do they even say? Exposure will not change that mindset. Women are at the receiving end. We suffer the most. We are collectors and we are keepers. When you understand that you're a collector and you're a keeper, you will guard yourself. Men are givers. That's the reason why when all this repercussion, it affects us the most. We suffer the most because we collect and we keep. We stop. I have said it over and over. I'm going to keep repeating it. Culture will not what do they even say? Exposure will not change that mindset. Women are at the receiving end. We...
He shot you. All right, she's done. She went on and on and on and on. Let me see what y'all think about it. Honestly, anytime Blessing wants to talk, I'm like, killer two deal. What's happening? So it's kind of interesting the angle she brought in today. You know, Blessing does some things like this once in a while. She will say something that makes sense of like, I'm gonna eat 40 balisha. But let me say, married women are now woke. Yeah, we gotta be careful, ladies. But listen, there's some men that will listen to this and they will start getting overly excited. Somebody's holding them accountable. Like, you don't know Blessing CEO like that too. I'm out, Yara and brain. Married women have been doing it since. It's not new. Thank you. This is the part that I need everybody to understand. There's nothing new. There's more noise because of social media. Be guided. If you start to internalize this kind of story, see when she first started talking, I'm like, Talumba, who are you talking about now? Listen, there are women who do this. That's a fact. But they're not new. It's not new now. Why are you telling a bunch of young people indirectly that this is just how it goes out there? But okay, she has a point. She has something like somebody said, good message. It's juju on both sides, both men and women, right? She wants to know so she can use it to her advantage. I beg, which trash can is she using as a platform to get an imaginary high horse? Jesus. Angela said, what of the men? She knew you were going to say that too, by the way. People like, people like Blessing, they know all the right things. Like a lot of these actresses, they act a lot of these stories. And then when they behave, you're like, you're the one share all these good lessons with us in all this story. Why are you like this in public now? Right? But let me tell you something. Human beings don't be amazed. They will say one thing. When action comes to life, it's like something else entirely. That's why I said, get yourself off any crazy pedestal you put yourself on. Relax, okay? Be guided and ask for favor, God to help you in the path you want to go. This I will never. The devil knows where to come for you. It's going to be from a blind spot. But because you are so busy, gung-ho, stuck on you will never, which is not accurate. There's no never or always that's accurate. It's all lies, okay? But I get it. You think you never, right? Until it shows up, right? But, Blessing CEO is an example of that. She will say one thing. A lot of things she said that made sense, but I'm just wondering who is she talking to, because everybody don't behave like this. But I get it. Well, it's internal. Let's just generalize. No, that's stupid. You're raising a bunch of people that internalize it, and they will think the whole world is like that. So I don't agree with, let's just make it okay for everyone to lose guard and start generalizing. I don't agree with that. Okay, we all generalize to a large extent already. So people outrightly just generalizing and just casting wide net everywhere. No, speak to the women that you know speak to them directly, right? Because what you focus on expands. You've never heard that before? Negative or positive. I know it doesn't make sense. What if it's negative and I'm just trying to fix it and I'm focused on it? It will expand. Do you not understand that this is not about your abilities to do anything? It's not about your ability, all this kind of. It's not about any of that stuff. Your abilities in the poto. When you don't understand emotional intelligence, when you don't understand that you need your own God, you need God to help you through this journey. What? You think you can just be intentional or just do the right thing? And Satan will just sit there and like, who is Satan? You yourself. The biggest Satan is you. So that's it, body. Man. Those men, who are they to speak or judge women in the first place? Aren't they doing the same things? Listen, she's talking about women. Angela, she's talking about women today. If the wife leaves, the understanding side chick will have to deal with the wahala. They want the wives to calm down so the status quo remains. I think she has a point. I just think that message is not for everyone. I think she has a point. I don't think the message is for everyone. It's useless to cast that message onto the internet when majority of women don't behave that way. It's like you're just looking to chase clout. You know that extreme polarized views gather people. Like I just made her even extra popular. She can take that, She just got a little bit of extra attention. I'm just telling you, when you hear things like this on the internet, don't overreact to it. It is what it is. Just ask, who are you talking to, auntie? I'm sure there's somebody who is misbehaving, who is bringing all those little boys to their matrimonial home on their bed. I know. But why are you telling the rest of us 5 million monitoring spirits this? Who are the persons you are talking about? Mention names or forever hold your peace. But of course, she's not going to mention it because she wants to. She knows that the people that relate with this type of story, they will engage that content, and it does make platforms go wide, grow very fast. That's the truth. Okay, so it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Princess, good to see you, Princess. But let me go on to the next one here. I'm not sure the lesson here for you and there's nobody on this platform that behaved the way that Auntie is saying. If you are here, ọjọ́ gbogbo ni tó le, ọjọ́ kan ni tó nìkan. Ọjọ́ kan ni, right? So I'm sure you don't need me to preach to you because you already know that you're doing something wrong. But majority of us that were here, we don't move this way. When you hear stories like this, don't hear it and then start saying, everybody's everywhere behaving. No, it's not true. It's not true. Content creators are vicious. They will do anything for another $1 super chat. That's what I want you to pay attention to. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Let's move on. Let's move on so we can finish on time. Hey, welcome back. So I have a question for you all. What's the number one reason from what you've seen? Maybe you read studies, maybe just by observing yourself, maybe just by listening to me here from time to time. I'm sure you guys have been listening for a while. You've also gotten some stuff from here. But whatever you think, your personal opinion, what is the number one reason why people get divorced? I will be waiting. Okay, I'm waiting. What's the number? I'm waiting to see what you have to say in the chat. What's the number one reason in your personal opinion why people get divorced? It's okay if it's a sentence. It's okay if it's just one word. If it's okay if you got it from some data stats, blah 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 somewhere. I just want to see where your mind is with that, because honestly, who cares? Some people say, who cares? Everybody are getting divorced. Like, hey, it's just 2023. Like, it is what it is. If it's not, it's about work. Go work, none. Yeah, let's keep it moving, right? Most of them don't mean that. They would like to mean it, but the fact that they keep re-engaging that same conversation over and over tells me that they don't mean that, you know. So I'm curious to see what you think. What do you think is the number one reason why people get divorced? I'm looking at the chats in a second. Let's see. Number one reason why people get divorced. Somebody said, oh, it's because of people like Will and Jada. We lost hope in marriage, so let's just throw in the towel. Right? No. Nah, wrong. What's the number one reason why people get divorced? I do have a video I want to react to with regards to this topic. Let me see. The Twinkle GG, shout out to you. She says unmet expectations. That's an interesting angle to expectations. Wow. That's an interesting one. Rebecca says 100. What do you mean by 100? What's the number one reason why people get divorced? Okay, Rebecca says cheating. Okay. Accounting says lack of KDWA and lack of communication. Those are two things. Which one is number one? I'm going to pick number one for you. Lack of KDWA, right? Lack of KDWA is number one reason why people get divorced. You think? All right. Let me play this video. Let's look at what this gentleman, I don't know who he is, but I found the video. I was like, this would be a good conversation to have, to continue our conversation, right? Let me play it. I'll be right back. Let's play this. No, not that one. This one.
The number one reason people gave for divorcing was this. Pastor, we're just, quote, incompatible. That was their reason. We're just incompatible. Friends, there's no such thing as incompatibility. It's a term made up by divorce attorneys to justify divorce. We're all incompatible because we're all different. Nobody's going to be completely compatible with you because nobody's exactly like you. So no matter who you're with and who you married, you're going to be incompatible. The truth is, you can get along with anybody that you choose to get along with, and you can choose to love anybody that you choose to love. Now, if I were to summarize thousands of hours of marriage counseling in 2 words, this is going to save you a lot of money. Here are the 2 words you need to hear that will make your marriage a success. Grow up! Stop being an irritating little immature, I won't say the word. It's immaturity that causes marriage to die. It's not incompatibility, it's inflexibility. I want what I want, and I want it now, and you want what you want, and neither of us are old enough, mature enough, smart enough, spiritual enough to change. And I am willing to let this thing die, then change. And you're willing to let this thing die, then change. It has nothing to do with incompatibility.
He said a lot. I want to hear your thoughts on this. What did he say? He said the number one reason that people give is we're not compatible. Right? We're not compatible. Is that true? Do you agree that a lot of people are saying that? And do you agree? Do you say, no, it's pushing it? I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. It shocked me. Oh, shock me. Oh, shock me. Oh, shock. Oh, she's yeah.
He shocked you.
It's small. It shocked me small, But I happen to I want to know what are your thoughts about what he said though? Do you think incompatibility is a thing? Rebecca says, honestly, I wanted to say incompatible. You did. I bet you did. I bet it wasn't just you, right? Incompatibility. I hear this a lot, As a matter of fact, I heard it in my own personal situation years ago, and it was the most confusing thing ever. When I got on the internet to ask some questions, I noticed a bunch of women are saying the same thing. What the hell does that mean? Incompatibility beats about wo. Till you just found out where our incompatible ni. When you get in the middle of marriage, you just find out we're not compatible. We're talking about divorce, so these are married people, right? And then she said, but I paused. I should be able to know if when dating, if we're compatible or not. Good. And that's my thank you so much, Rebecca. That's the goal of Men of Prestige. I want people to start thinking a little bit deeper than stupid talking points, right? You've heard those things enough times that it becomes second nature. It becomes part and parcel of who you are. You throw that word out there just like that before you know it. It could be incompatibility. It could be boundaries. It could be narcissist. All these words. You just throw it out there before you even think deeper about what's going on, right? Or before you even think enough to ask questions like, tell me more about that story, right? So that was a good one, Rebecca. Thank you so much for that. Angela says, incompatibility is a general term. It houses so many issues. That right there that's a very, very good point. Okay? That's a very good point, because I don't want to say there's no such thing as incompatibility. I don't necessarily want to say that. Okay? People can marry a person that's not compatible with them. Anything the mind can conceive is possible. Okay? That's just the truth. That's just the reality. Okay? Oh no, but there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Yes, there is. Yes. There's no such thing as toxic family. Yes, there is. Stop the cap. Okay? There is. If somebody said it, they're trying to say something and you're not open to hearing it. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Okay? So if somebody says we're just incompatible, we're not supposed to shut that down. It's just preaching on the stage, so that's okay. But when you're engaging that person, you're trying to help them. If you're actually mean to help them solve the problem, what you don't want to do is shut down the idea that is a thing. It is a thing. The issue with it, then what we can get deeper into the part of the conversation, which Angela is saying, incompatibility is a general term. It houses many, many issues. We can be incompatible on a temporary basis too. Like we're just not compatible. Maybe we can grow to that level. Maybe we can learn something that will make us mesh a little bit better, right? We can keep an open mind about that as well, right? As opposed to, no, there's incompatibility and just that, eat it up. Or there's no such thing as the extremes are the issues with this relationship issues. The extremes, okay? The absolutes are the issues. There's no such thing as absolute in the reality of things. When it plays out, there's nuances everywhere. And you're part of the people that bring the nuances in. You're not as right and wrong as you might want to claim. It's a lie. It's literally just a lie, you know. He's understanding it literally, yes. It depends on what the person wants you to be flexible about. Right? Flexible about what? Like sometimes people will say deal breaker. Most people that say deal breaker, whatever they list on that list is not really deal breaker. They don't know how they will react until they find themselves in that situation. That's just the reality. Okay. However, right, there are deal breakers. There are deal breakers. What I'm saying in essence is that you don't know your deal breakers until you're experiencing it, right? You just be like, I can't take that. I have to move on. You never realize it was your deal breaker. And the things you thought were deal breakers, you found yourself in that space. You're like, wait, I can't just run because there's vested interest everywhere. My whole life is around this whole picture. I can't decide, right? So it's not as simple as people run their mouths to be when it comes to these things, right? So, but back to flexibility, he's asking like, you are flexible? Like, yes, you have to compromise. That you are by default in any form of relationship you do. That's your friend that you went on the trip with. You tolerated them now. That's understood. That's why it lasted that long, right? Compromise. That's something that everybody understands. But there's some things that your spirit might just kick against it. Like, no, I can't compromise on that. I can't be flexible on that, right? But there's a lot of issues too that's why you're living your marriage. We could talk. We can. If you come out on the other side of this, you will have the greatest marriage in the world, right? No, once a cheater, always a cheater. If you say that to me, I'll just like, you're right. Let's start the paperwork. But usually they don't want to start the paperwork. They still want to talk, right? What does that mean? You can't even hold on to your own words long enough, right? So yes, you have to, if you're going to help them and you want to help them, you have to handle. What do you mean by incompatibility? Or when I brush my teeth, it makes certain sounds and he doesn't like the sound. So we're incompatible. Like, okay. Anyway, let's be careful about all the talking points. Let's break them down. That's the point, Angela. Break them down. Ask again. Keep asking. What do you mean? What do you mean? Once a cheater, always a cheater. Kilo mean that people can't change? No, I just mean I can't wait to be finding out. Okay, this is about you. That's okay too. That's all right. Okay? But the only thing that's constant in life is change. People change. They don't have to want to change. Life will change them. So if you're saying you don't want to wait to find out, just say that. But to just run around the internet and tell people that once a cheater is a cheater, no, you're projecting. That's all you're doing. You're just projecting. That's all you're doing. People change. People grow up. People all the time. Men on women. Men on women. I'm talking about the talking point. Incompatible boundaries. Kill me by boundaries. You don't have any tolerance? Oh, that's not going to work either. That's what you meant by boundaries? Okay. Well, I tolerate anything. Kilo mean. They're going to disrespect you if you don't respect yourself. You can't tolerate just anything either. That's not good either. That's an extreme. Anything bitibawo. Kilo mean. Right? So, let me see here. He said, I recently met someone who I really like and he's very smart but does not believe in monogamy. I have decided not to date him. We're incompatible in core values. Yeah, that's before marriage, right? But he's talking about people that divorce. They were inside the marriage and then they find out that they're incompatible. Oftentimes that's cap, But that's a good one. Yeah, if you notice in the beginning that even if it's feelings, some people don't go with your feelings. No, I said no, middle finger. You should go with your feelings. Your feelings is there. It might be temporary, but it's there. For now that it's there, pay attention to it, right? Pay attention to it, right? Tomorrow you might feel different. Then you follow that, how you feel tomorrow. Then you're like, oh, I was just overreacting yesterday, right? Here's what it is. Now, if you find out that it's always all over the place and you can't make a decision, then that's an issue. You have to sort that. Have to sort that out, right? So, but tolerating a serial cheater is not easy, or it's affect. No, you should never tolerate a serial cheater. That's just terrible. That's lack of self-respect on your part. You can't even blame that person. I'm sorry. Okay, you can't blame that person. Okay, that means you know that this person will continue this behavior, but you stay there. I'm not blaming you either. I'm just saying you can't blame that person. You have to take full accountability for that as an adult, for staying in that kind of situation. And it's a testament to lack of self-respect, because there's just some things that you won't tolerate. If you have a healthy level of self-respect. But tolerating a serious cheat, okay, we already talked about that. Let's see. I have engaged him in long conversations, and that is how I found out he believes men. Yeah, men are polygamous in nature. Yeah, that's a talking point. But if he's slow enough to keep repeating that talking point, definitely you should be careful with engaging that kind of person long term. All right, good. We have some more to cover. It's Serene Sundays. We're almost done, though. We're almost done. I'll be right back. All right, let's watch this video and react to it together. It's called Side Chick Wala.
Because mo ní kí wọ́n record nǹkan.
Ó ti record ẹ̀.
Ó gbọ́dọ̀ bọ́ jacket yẹn o. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ bọ́ wọn bí ẹ̀dá kó bọ́ jacket yẹn. Tó lọ ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ lálẹ́ àná. Òun ni kó lọ bá kó lọ máa bá kó lọ máa.
Sorry for the non-Yoruba speakers.
Tani mo bá sọ̀rọ̀. Èmi ò mọ táyì wá sí ẹjọ́ wà lórí fóònù lálẹ́ àná.
All right, so she's saying that person you were talking to on the phone last night, that blah 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 blah. She's basically accusing, I don't know if it's a husband or a boyfriend, but she's accusing him of having side chicks, and that's what you're hearing. She's speaking Yoruba. The guy asked the person who was recorded, "Why are you recording me?" So I'm not sure if this is a skit. It doesn't matter if it's a skit or actual real life. Okay, I'm not sure, but watch this. He said, "Why are you recording me?" Right now, the truth is that a lot of people are really engaging in this behavior where they're recording stuff. There have been times that I'm like, yeah, they recorded it. That's the only way we could have seen that issue, right? But a lot of times, see, with some of this behavior, now we're starting to encourage people and people to, instead of working on their relationship, they want to start recording stuff, right? It's confusing, you know, it's a conflicting issue, but let's keep going. She said, take your shit and leave.
Enough.
I'll lower it a little bit.
Enough.
She said, take your ish and leave. That one said, be patient. That's the friend. He said, be patient.
First time, second time, my darling, my love. My record because money can record. My darling, my love. Yes, he was, yes. No.
The guy's confused. Wahala. She said, come on, be going.
Ẹ̀yin ẹ má bẹ̀ mí o, ẹ má bẹ̀ mí rárá, mi ò fẹ́ kẹ́ bẹ̀ mí. Kẹ́rù ẹ kó máa lọ. Kẹ́rù ẹ kó máa lọ. Ó yá. Kẹ́rù ẹ kó máa lọ. Ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀yin kí ló bá ń ṣe yìí náà ẹ bá jẹ́ o. Orí ọkọ èèyàn mo ní kọ́kọ́ rẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ bí máa kẹ́rù kó máa lọ. Ẹ̀yin náà dẹ̀ tún bá ṣá ẹ.
Obìnrin.
All right, so she said, I told my you helping your friend to kind of like, what kind of friend are you, right? To be helping him to actually be leaving. She's the one that asked to leave, right? She said, who's going to take the kids to school? Who's going to take them to football? Right? Reality kicks in, right? Come on, be going. But wait, why are you so quick to leave? Where are you going? Then I'll go and lock the door right now. You can't leave. But you said I should leave. No, I'm going to lock the door. You can't leave. I want divorce. You go file the divorce. We're like, well, since he's so quick to go and file divorce, maybe it's supposed to be. It's meant to be that way, right? She says, so you want two people's loads to become one person's, right? She said, I knew it that you wanted to leave. You're not going anywhere.
I don't know one day. One day, you know, and I was in here. You must rest and eat on the run. And I was.
So it's not leaving. Oh, wow. I know what you're thinking. I know what you think.
He shock you.
Yeah. I don't know if that was real. Eventually, towards the end, it's really looking more like a skit, you know. But it's an example of a lot of cases, right? Where people, men or women, start running their mouth on what they will and will not do and stuff like that. But when it becomes reality, when it leaves that zone from fantasy to reality, it's quite different, you know. Angela says she doesn't look like joking in the beginning, yeah, but towards that end, and the way these guys go, all right, bye, you know, it's like, okay, maybe it's a skit, but it's saying a lot, you know. It's saying a lot that you should pay attention to. There's a lot of people encouraging people to just destroy the family structure, directly and indirectly. Okay, and I understand the position. I mean, it comes off as natural. Of course, naturally, Ola, you want the family structure to stay together. You know, I know, I understand it. Okay, but the reality is what she said. There's two people's loads when you, especially if you live together with somebody for a while. There's two people's loads about to become one person's load. That's not fun. Okay, it might seem like maybe because you're going through something, you feel like, well, that's the better thing for me to do right now. I'll figure the rest out later. It makes sense too, because that's with the frame of reference with respect to the pain you're going through right now. Anything but what you have right now is better. Right? That's just the mind telling you that. And it's real, you know. When you start to really, if you think a little bit deeper, you might want to reconsider. But at least make sure that you're well prepared for that new life. You know, Chris Rock said his pillow was smelling. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal to you, but have you ever put your head on a smelly pillow before? Yeah, that's no joke. That's no joke. So now wala, na real serious wala. Okay, let's keep it moving because I think I have one or two more to cover. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I got one new one. One last story to cover today. 7 baby mamas and free. That's the title. 7 baby mamas and free. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria. I got this from there. But this story has been going viral everywhere for the past 24 hours. It says why it's important for women to be careful with who they sleep with. I'm not sure if that's the lesson in this. But 7 baby mamas and he's free. Okay. This man that you're about to watch, there are many of them out there, okay? But there's a good chance that he's not the guy who's trying to paint the picture. He's being sarcastic, he's being condescending, but let's see if the message lands, okay? Let's see if it makes any difference for you. But let's see if, like, no matter who is talking, right? Even as shiwiri, even like a mad person, we can get lessons from anybody, right? So let's put some effort into extracting the lesson first. And then we'll see if it matters, if it was sarcastic or condescending. But I'll talk about that. Let me just play this video and then we'll talk about it.
I got 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live telling my story, speaking my truth. And a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, yet not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children, and I offer to pay for the Majority of times they'll either take.
So when they beeped that, he offered to pay for the baby deletions. Okay, that's what he's talking about. The A word. I just can't use that on YouTube.
Or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied. Because I don't really know why you trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I do not want. I got 7 kids and 7. When nobody think about it, you're not gonna force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because I'm not the one that gonna have to carry a baby for 9 months. It's the woman. In my opinion, women should be more careful on who they sleep with. Because you're going to be like, one of my baby mamas trying to find me so I can financially support a kid I done told her or them I did not want. Another thing is, these just jump offs. These the type of women that I ain't even had to do nothing for. The bare minimum, but they gave me access to their body and they think I want to be a father to a child for one of them? Like, I don't even have no type of love for these women. How do they expect me to love these children? Before y'all say, oh, he irresponsible, he a deadbeat, he don't take account. When nobody think about it, you're not going to force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision. Yeah, I do. I just don't get ain't gonna force these children on me when I told you I ain't want them. Yeah, I can offer to a pay. At what point can I force a woman to go get an abortion? I cannot.
Oh, no.
A woman say, my body, my choice. But I say, it's my life, my choice. Before y'all try to like black men this, black men that, I really don't. I honestly just learned what a vasectomy was 3 days ago when I started speaking. When I figure out what that is, I'm not. Then they asking, why not wear a condom? I have worn protection a lot of times. These are just the instance when I have not. And unfortunately, it has resulted into the woman being pregnant. But ask yourself and ask your friends as a woman, when is the last time that you told a man to put? Because I have never in my 27 years heard a woman request me to. Yeah, I do. I just don't get. Ain't gonna force these children on me when I told you I ain't want them. Yeah, I can offer to a pay. At what point can I force a woman to go get an abortion? I cannot. A woman say, my body, my choice, but I say, it's my life, my choice. Before y'all try to like black men this, black men that, I really don't. I honestly just learned what a vasectomy was 3 days ago when I started speaking. And me being an irresponsible man, knowing that I feel better raw, if I'm not going to put a condom on, and if she not going to ask me, it would not be no condom. And another thing, y'all keep saying, I don't think he's telling these women he's not going to be a father after he have accidentally get them pregnant. Do it matter? Do I have to tell a woman to be responsible for her body? Do I have to tell a woman to wait for a man to commit to her before she have with him? Or do I have to tell a woman wait till marriage before she gives a man access to her body? It used to be a point in time where women actually value their innocence, actually value their virginity. But we do not live in that day-to-day, do we? Y'all want me to respect a woman's body more than you be that.
Wait, so he just literally trying to paint a picture like he actually cares about what women do in terms of moral characters and value. But okay, continue.
I, as a man, can prevent her from getting pregnant. Whatever a woman gonna allow me to do, and me being an irresponsible man, knowing that I feel better raw, if I'm gonna do. Don't expect me to be irresponsible. Because if we both irresponsible, who's responsible for carrying a child for 9 months? It sure ain't no goddamn man. It sure ain't me. I don't got no remorse. I don't feel bad. That woman knew what she was doing when she laid down and slept with me. She knew the consequences. She knew the risk. And don't be trying to be like, oh, it's women with low self-esteem. It's women that's ghetto or ratchet, or it's hood women. My 7 baby mamas. And I don't even know why I claim them, just because it became a conversation. But some of them rich, some of them poor, some of them classy, some of them ratchet. Some got regular. Don't care. So it's a woman on all levels. And don't even try to speak on morals and respect, because we don't have the same definition of morals and respect. Stop trying to tell people they gotta hold me accountable or people like me accountable. The only thing I'm gonna do, don't expect me to be irresponsible, because if we both irresponsible, who's responsible for caring that can hold me accountable? Stop expecting men or women to come talk to me. Man, I ain't gonna listen to say. And trust me, y'all think women gonna hear me talk and then stay away from me. They still gonna get this 8.5, trust me. So I do not feel mad. I'm the most honest individual.
Honest.
I do not
He's
have
telling
to
the truth,
no
right?
woman. Trust me. That can hold me accountable. Stop expecting men or women to come talk to me. Man, I ain't gonna listen to say. And trust me, y'all think women gonna hear me talk and then stay away from me. They still gonna get this 8.5, trust me. So I do not feel mad. I'm the most honest individual. I do not have to manipulate no woman. Trust me. Person that can hold me accountable. Stop
He shock you.
Yeah, there's no way I can take him too seriously. I can't. Okay. If that's a real person, if that person actually meant that and that's their real life story, that's a man in his feminine energy. Nobody should take him too seriously. If he's acting, he's trying to paint a picture that women are irresponsible with baby delusion, right? If that's a real thing, yeah, sarcasm and condescension is not going to work either, right? You can't blame women for being part of the results that we created together. Like when people move a certain way in these streets, you will create certain type of results, right? You can't use indirect talking. Let me just act like a Pookie and a Ray Ray and see if this woman will get some sense. Nope. Kerewa, no be your mates. Yep. It's not your mate. When people do what they do what they do. There's a certain types of guy that will be 7, that will have 7 baby mamas. There's certain types of people like that. You can almost predict that that's what's going to happen before they had the first baby. So the idea of using this to correct people, it doesn't work. You're correcting the wrong people. The men that are listening to this and resenting men like him, the Pookie and the Ray Rays, those men also, they're the wrong audience. This are resentments all over the place. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. All right. So what is it? What is he saying that's new? A person should not have 7 baby mamas. He's not admitting to that. He's saying no. A woman should not become one of 7 baby mamas. That's lame talk. That's lame talk. Right? The woman who will become one of 7 baby mamas, they're probably not listening to this BS. Right? They're not trying to hold him accountable. He's trying to speak indirectly to women in general to stop opening their legs to everyone. And it's just another viral video. It's stupid. Okay? It's just stupid. That's all it is. It's stupid. People know what the right things are to do. They know what is wrong to do. They know that you can't have quality of life if you have 7 baby mamas, even if you're running from all of them. What kind of life is that? You have to run away from every single one of them, right? What kind of life is that, right? People know this, but yet they end up in that situation. If they know these things and they still end up in that situation, common sense, if it matters at all, because I hate common sense personally, So I was like, oh, you hate common sense, kill me, because it's common sense. It's a terrible guide to life. That's when people use common sense, they come and create this kind of video. Like, let's if common sense doesn't work, let's talk to them indirectly. Let's see if it works so they can stop opening their legs. No, they're not opening the legs to you, clearly. Right? That guy right there is not the guy with the 7 baby mamas. He's not, I don't believe it. Okay? I stand corrected if that happens to be real, but I don't believe it. I think it's a guy who is just trying to, the talking point, women, 80% of women they're all having babies for the 20% of men. What's new about that? There's nothing new about that. Welcome to an active marketplace. Hello? That's an active marketplace. So you now cast everything to 7 baby mamas, 7 kids, irresponsibility. But let me act like I don't care. I'm going to be a pookie anyway. But you women are going to suffer. Like, it still didn't work. It didn't work. When you're lame, it shoots through your nose and your mouth. We can see it, regardless of how much you try. Okay? They saw the red flag, but still went ahead. It's basically untrappable. Is anybody trying to trap this kind of guy? I guarantee you it's not intentional. If they were, they didn't really know what they were getting into, right? They don't pay attention to. They should be held accountable to. Good. It's not him that's going to hold them accountable. It's definitely not him, right? Could make sense now. Yes, it's seriously. Number one, some women have kids with men like this because they just want a kid. Is the perfect candidate. That's terrible. Terrible. Right? They just want kid. They can go to sperm banks. Right? But they would rather have a kid with this type of human being. It's not just that. It's the worst part about all of this is not the 7 baby mamas. The worst part is him jumping on the internet to talk like this. To act like a person that has no home training. That's the worst part. That's the worst part about this kind of things. It's not the 7 baby mamas. That's the least of his issues. Listen, they are almost job, they are government kids. They will be taken care of in one shape, form, or the other. Terrible, but that's the truth. Maybe those kind of baby mamas, they also tend to have access to welfare. So they're going to be all right. But that's the person you want to have a baby with? Yeah. Some women think their own case would be different. Thank you. That's also another part of it, right? That's another part of it, right? So trying to use this video to correct women, it doesn't work because they tend not to see this kind of video up front. That's why the video is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. They don't see this video up front in order to avoid that situation. Oh yeah, but we can help a lot more people. They will avoid it. No, they won't. No, they won't. Okay? They won't. But again, that a man will jump on the internet and record this kind of video thinking is correcting women speak more volume to me of what's actually going on than worrying about some baby mamas in the hood somewhere. Like, are you kidding me? I think he's just acting and trying to put a point across. That's what he was doing. He was being sarcastic and he was being condescending. If we're talking about real life issues, it doesn't work. You're going to have the patience that it actually takes to do the work, which means if we continue to create kids that are just roaming around the streets, men and women, they will end up creating such scenarios. So if we're going to do the work, let's do the work. Condescension and sarcasm is not going to work. It's not going to work because they're not seeing it. We just laugh. It's just another viral video and then now what, No man who does not want to have kids can just recently find out about vasectomy. Yeah. The point is that, Pookie and Ray Rays, they don't know these things. They're just going to sleep with you and dump you. We hear this all the time. Then now he tried to act it. It's a waste of time. You need to seek therapy. That man needs to seek therapy. If it's a skit maker, he's trying to create content and trying to make a point, no, there's some hurt there. There's some pain there. He needs to seek therapy. He needs to seek wise counsel because majority of people are not going to get the point. They're going to be like, oh yeah, he's telling the truth. Yeah, they're not going to get it. They'll be like, oh yeah, he's telling the truth. But there's nothing profound. Okay, you have 7 baby mamas, 7 kids. I just found out about vasectomy. But I don't care. I don't care about pulling out anyway. The point is that, instead of me saying it directly to women, that hasn't worked. that, hey, Pookie and Ray Ray, right? Tunde and Femi, they don't care about pulling out. They will impregnate you. They will leave you. Since it's not working, let's try to use indirect talking, condescension and sarcasm. See if it works. It doesn't work. You're still a clown. Lame. Temporarily, hopefully. Right? You should tell us about the women that are closing them legs to you. Why? How come you're not able to penetrate women the way you really want to? That's what we should be talking about. But I'm patient. Whenever you're ready to talk about that, we can always talk about it. So thank you so much for everyone that we're here. We did 2.5 hours. It's perfect timing right there. All right. Again, we'll be back here for Winning Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Shout out to everybody that interacted today. You made the conversation much more fun. Key Pearls. Shout out to you. Welcome. Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Chiye. Shout out to who else is there that I don't want to miss anybody. Shout out to every single one of you anyway. The Twinkle GG. Shout out to you. Princess. Good to see you. Shout out to everybody. And shout out to everybody accounting. I see you. Shout out to everybody that will come here and watch replay later. Leave me a comment. Let me know you were here. Shout out to D-Love, of course. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for being here. On your way out, do me a favor. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.